We took a cruise on P&O Iona. Here, we're going to tell you about 3 things we liked and 3 things we didn't like quite as much.
So we'll start with number 1, which is the ship itself. It is an absolutely gorgeous ship. It's very, very light.
Those massive windows in the atrium just let so much light in.
This was a lovely change in comparison to other larger ships that we've been on, such as Harmony of the Seas, which is really dark.
After being on a few larger ships such as Virtuosa and Harmony of the Seas, we were a bit nervous again because the larger ship, we're thinking it's going to feel like very crowded. But we felt that the ship held its passengers really well, and the size of the bars were really good as well. On Harmony and Virtuosa, we felt that the bars were a little bit small, but these bars were actually brilliant.
So at peak times, a lot of places were busy, like the theatre was busy, restaurants are busy, but feel as busy as it has done on other big ships we've been on.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. For our second like, we have to say the quality of the food and drink on board. Now, we felt that the included food on this ship was some of the best, if not the best included food we've ever had on a ship.
And it was consistent throughout the whole ship. No matter where you went, the food was just...
Yeah, every main dining room, the quality was pretty much exactly the same. It was a really high standard. And the same went for the drinks as well, didn't it? So if you got like a cocktail or a gin and tonic, on other ships, yeah, bartenders tend to be very generous in one bar, a bit stingy in the other, but on this one, all the measures were exactly the same.
But they tasted it anyway.
Yeah, and the standard and quality of the cocktails, G&Ts and things like that, were exactly the same in each bar, which was great, so you knew you were going to get a quality drink each time.
Yeah.
Our third and final like for P&O was the price we paid for the cruise. Now, the base prices that P&O charge are extremely reasonable compared to other cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Line and others like that. We felt that money we paid reflected really good value for the actual product and experience we had. We did pay extra for the drinks package, which was obviously extra on top, but the actual base fare of the cruise is extremely good value.
So let's now move on to our dislikes. Now, following on from price, we actually did not like the price of the excursions. We thought these were really, really high. We always do excursions on a cruise, but on this one we were like, nope, we're not paying it.
Yeah, the average cost was sort of like between £50 to £70 per person on the excursion, so between obviously Amy and myself and my brother as well, it would have been quite a bit of money for us to all pay out.
However, we are very aware that these high prices might be because we're in Norway and it's not the...
And Norway is a very expensive country to do stuff in, so we understand that some of their excursions might be a bit inflated due to this.
Yeah, I feel like if we do it again, which we are planning to do Norway again at some point because, oh my god, stunning, we will probably do an excursion next time.
We will do extra chores and save extra pocket money so that we could afford to do at least one excursion on our next Fjords cruise. For our second dislike, it has to be the P&O My Holiday app, fake app browser thing that you use on a browser. They call an app that isn't an app. It was just so difficult to book everything you wanted to be able to do. We had quite a late embarkation. When I eventually got onto the app to try and start booking some things up, like the 7:10 Club, pretty much all of the slots were gone for the whole week, bar the 12:15 AM slots. Again, we're fine for us because
we're quite tech savvy.
We're quite tech savvy. We don't mind staying up late on a cruise.
Exactly, but
not good for others.
It felt a bit like, well, if you're not tech savvy, then you're not going to be able to enjoy the ship, which we didn't feel like that was very fair. So one thing that we were also really disappointed regarding the app was that it didn't actually show what activities were going on board. We had to take photos of the daily planner that was in our room. Yeah. It's a bit like, I mean, why isn't the daily plan?
Yeah, like Marella can do it with their Navigate app thing.
Yeah.
So why can't P&O do it with their one? It would just make it so much easier.
Likes of other ships like Marella and Royal, they have like the big screens around the ship where you can go, oh, okay, what's going on? But they didn't have that either.
There were plenty of screens throughout the ship on Iona, but they weren't interactive touch screens like on other ships. They do change very quickly, these screens. That's one thing about them. Time you went to go read it, it would flash onto the next thing that was on, so you'd have to wait for it to flash back around if it was something you were interested in. Although they showed what was going on, where and what time, it wasn't really much use. You couldn't interact with them, so they were...
Also, it wasn't kind of like a list of what's going around the ship. It was very much like, Voxums here in the Sky Dome at this time. Okay, that's great. Like a poster advertising the Voxums, but it's like, but what else is going on? I think it should at least be on the app. It should at least be on the app.
Put it on the app, you know. It'd be so much easier for everyone.
Number 3, the third thing that we didn't like.
Our third dislike.
We didn't like the entertainment. Sorry, P&O, but we weren't the biggest fan of it.
Quite disappointed with the theatre show offerings in particular, because they only had 2 cast musicals on board. We'd have preferred more variety. If you're going to have a theatre, an impressive theatre like that, make the most of it. Like Morella have 6 different shows a week, cast shows.
And we know that it's a big ship, so they have to allow everybody to be able to come see the shows. But just 2 shows? We like to go to the theatre every night when we're on a ship, to be honest, and Morella provide that for us.
Even MSC do like a different variety sort of type thing every single night.
Yeah.
It might not be to everyone's taste, but they do offer it if you want it.
Yeah,
it's nice to have the choice, isn't it?
I don't mind going to see a show that I think is now actually that's part of the fun sometimes to go see a show and go, oh my god, that wasn't very good. Like I kind of like that. Also,
we really miss the lack of poolside entertainment on board. Could be due to the fact that Iona doesn't really have a proper sort of Lido deck as such. Like the Sky Dome probably is the main Lido deck, but where it's covered, it doesn't feel quite the same. Though this could be down to the itinerary, cruising around the Norwegian fjords.
So the one game show they did have on board was absolutely awful. I tell you what though, we've already done a video going into loads of detail about the entertainment on board, so why not go over there?
Yeah, go there now. We'll see you there.
Yeah, we'll be there. We promise.
Thanks for watching!